Hi everyone, it's Clyde from Yellow Brick Road here at St. Mary's, your local Wealth Accelerator Specialist. It is Wealth Wednesday, and this week's financial tip is all about how to read your super statements. On Monday, I caught up with a couple of young clients in their early 20s, and we were discussing super and looking at their statements. And it dawned on me that they really had, they didn't really know what to look for when it comes to their super statements, and they weren't too sure exactly what everything meant. So I thought this week I'll just go through some tips with you, so when you receive your super statement, you'll know what to look for. So the first thing that I do, I stress when you receive your statements is just to check your personal details. It is an obvious thing, I know, but trust me, I've sat with a lot of clients and they had no idea their phone number was incorrect, their email address was incorrect, and sometimes they had the incorrect address because the super fund emailed it to them. So it's vital to confirm and to make sure that your contact details are correct. Reason for that is because if the super fund is not able to get in contact with you, then they will more than likely transfer your super into lost super. So that's why it is very important to make sure that your contact details are correct. So that's the first point. The second point is to look at the fees on the account. So as we all know, the fees will eat into your account balance, and the higher the fees, obviously the account balance will reduce a lot faster. And if you have a number of years to go before you retire, you want to try and make sure that you're paying as little or paying minimum fees when it comes to your super funds. So your super statement will actually show you all the fees and charges, and what you want to do is just make sure, look at the total amount of fees that you are paying. You're paying admin fees, you're paying management fees or investment fees. There are insurance premiums as well, most likely, advisor fees as well, financial advisor fees. So all these fees and charges will be stated on your super statements, and just look at the total and see whether you feel comfortable with that amount. Generally speaking, if you're not receiving financial advice when it comes to your super, then all the other fees and charges that you have on your account, you'd want it to be roughly about 1% of the account balance. Now look, it is a general amount or general figure, but if you're paying more than that, then maybe look at switching. Now I do stress that it is important to speak to a professional when you do switch or change funds, purely because sometimes your fund at the moment may be the best one for you, and then other times switching may be a better fund out there for you. So I do stress it is important to speak to a professional before you do anything. But going back to fees, just looking at the total account or total fees that you're paying and seeing whether you feel comfortable with that amount. And then finally, on the statement, looking at the contributions that have been received. So based on your salary, the employer has to pay the 9.5% contributions every year. So a great thing or one thing that I do stress is just make sure that it all adds up to what they have to pay you, the employer contributions. Also, if you've made additional contributions, personal contributions or salary sacrifice amounts, make sure that it's actually on the statement as well, and the fund has received it. One thing that I do, when you do check your contributions, the good thing is that you'll be aware whether your employer is actually underpaying you or not. So if they're not paying you the correct super amounts, then there's definitely ways to take action and make sure that they do start paying you the correct amounts, and to pay the difference as well. So that's something that I do stress. When you receive your statements, look at the contributions, because again, I've seen cases where employers have not paid the right super for their employees, and they're able to take action and get the employee to pay the difference. So that's my 3 tips for you this week when it comes to looking at your super. Number one is just make sure your contact details are correct. Secondly is looking at the fees and just see whether you feel comfortable with that amount of fees that you're paying. And thirdly, just reviewing the contributions and making sure that your employer is paying you the right amount. So that's it for this week. Hope you got something out of it. If you'd like more information, or if you'd like me to review your super, more than happy to. Please just put a comment down below, and I'll definitely be in contact. Remember, again, it is general advice, so tailored advice and specific advice. If you'd like that, please get in contact with me. And I do have a checklist, as I always do, just with some information and some extra things when it comes to looking at your super. So that's it for this week, and remember, I'm dedicated to helping you take actionable steps today to achieve a better tomorrow. Thanks guys, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.